We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Hear the drummer get wicked. Here we go again.
Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother.
What's going on, bro?
Man, I am all over the place these days, though, man, which kind of explains why we haven't potted in a hot minute, though. But I'm glad we're back locked in, though, man. We got some things to talk about, though, bro.
Yeah, we do. We got a bunch of little things jumping off, man. So
What you been up to since the last pod, though?
You said what?
I said, what's been up with you since the last pod, though?
Oh, brother, I've been using my time wisely. I've been in the studio working. And so yeah, I've been doing that. I've been playing with the camera and trying to, lock some things down with that. But yeah, just been utilizing my time.
Okay, man. I've been all over the place, man. I'm in the process of possibly moving. So between looking around, prepping my spot, it's been all over the place, though, man. But it looks like it's coming to a happy ending on over here over the next week or so. So I'm excited, though, bro.
Oh, that's dope, man.
Yeah. Hey, let's get that music on, man. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook pages. We are live on both platforms at the same time. That way you can get the notification, you click on the bell, you get the heads up whenever your boys and members doing their thing. Ace Kennedy. Hey, listen, man, playoffs, right? Are you, let's talk about that, bro, because I got some questions for you. I'm big on legacies, all-time lists, and things that there's been some things that I've been kind of wondering, bro, that I wanted to get your opinion. And listen, I try to be as consistent as possible with where I am with lists, right?
Yeah.
So I'm watching the game. I'm watching the Nuggets and Suns game, right? I turn the game on at halftime.
Right.
And I had to look close because listen, my eyes ain't what they used to be. I'm sitting here watching the game. Bear with me, dude, because my phone is locking up on me here. But okay, so I'm watching the game, right? And I see that the Nuggets are up at halftime by 30 points, bro. It's a blowout from the jump. And not just that. I mean, they have 81 points at halftime. So, Ace Kennedy, here's what I'm wondering. You asked me, who's to blame?
Mm-hmm.
Who's at fault here? Right? So that's one question. But my question for you separately, and we'll get into that. But my question to you is, what does going out like this do for KD's legacy, bro?
To me, nothing. Because this is why I say that. KD, I treat him just like I treat everybody else, right? So when Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love went out, LeBron couldn't get it done, right? He had to be at full strength in 2020 with Anthony Davis. and the rest of the Lakers in order for him to win again. So if I'm looking at KD, you had Chris Paul that's out, you had DeAndre Ayton who's out, and you had Denver at full strength. So, you know, I can't take that away from him, just like when I didn't take it away from him when Kyrie and James Harden were hurt. You know, this is a time where being with multiple superstars is what it takes to win. So I can't take it again.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I feel differently. I hold it against him.
I know you.
I hold it against him. Here's the reason why I hold it against him. I hold it against him because I think that people still hold it against LeBron. It counts, right? When it comes to LeBron. And I'm only using this for LeBron because in the current climate of NBA, Kevin Durant is the only person who has the resume. There's like 5 players, right? These 5 or 6 players that have the LeBron kind of resume, right? Steph is another one, Kawhi is one, and KD is one of those ones where you talk about greatness resumes. But LeBron, it's always still held up against LeBron that even though he lost to the Warriors, right? It was still Kyrie and Kevin Love was injured, and a loss is a loss. When it happened, it doesn't matter. It's LeBron, and it sting a little bit more because it happened to him in the finals, right? And it didn't matter that LeBron averaged almost 40 points a game in that series. So the reason why I hold this against KD, not because he lost and not because he didn't have his guys. I get that Chris Paul was hurt. It was probably better the way that DeAndre Ayton was playing that he didn't play at all. But I hold it against him because of how KD played, bro. Like in a game, in that kind of game, like a clinching game, you're supposed to go out swinging. And when I see that you down by 30, I expect that if you go out by a blowout, if you drop 40, I'm cool with that. I can't blame you. It's 14. But I blame him. And then here's the other part too. I think that this is almost this could be something that would give Devin Booker the James Harden resume. Like the way people look at James Harden, because Devin Booker, when it wasn't clutch time, or he was dropping 40 points like it was regular. And when you needed it, right? When you absolutely needed it, you done just ghosted 2 straight games. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, bro, this is reputation changing. So I do think that it's one of those dings on KD's resume. But on top of that, though, bro, it's also starting to make Devin Booker look kind of bad, though, bro.
Well, here's the thing. So I look at you being consistent. So if you being consistent, I expect you to be more upset at Devin Booker than KD, because according to you, you said this is Devin Booker's team that KD went and joined. So I need you to be having that smoke for Devin Booker.
So the reason I do, but I think that's why, and we'll talk about the blame, right? But right. I think that the reason why I think that Kevin Durant is supposed to be the clone on Funk, right? He makes everything look good. You put him on there, and you just are better. So my thing is that if that's the narrative on KD, then it didn't happen this time. So
it didn't happen, but he didn't have a full clip. And that's what so this is the thing. When we talk LeBron, the only time I hear people bringing up his losses in championship series or whatever the case may be is when they're talking about comparing him to Jordan. Like, oh, Jordan got here and he didn't lose. So my thing is, I didn't have any smoke for LeBron when it was him versus the Warriors, because KD was down. Kyrie was down, and so was Kevin Love. So my thing is that the same way I didn't have any smoke for Kevin Durant when he was with Brooklyn and both Kyrie and James Harden were down, I'm not going to give him no smoke now, because
I understand that. I'm just looking at it like I can't give him the easy pass like that.
No easy pass. The man lost. I think that's enough.
Yeah, but he lost. But I guess my thing is that it is one of those. So I think that he lost, right? But it's how you lose games, right? Like I think that him losing when they was at Brooklyn, and him losing to the Nets. Yeah, they had a lead, and the Bucks came back, and I think that year the Bucks ultimately won it. So I don't hold it too much that Kyrie was hurt, James Harden was hurt, and you lost to the eventual champions. I'm cool with that. But I think that what I do hold against him, though, bro, is how he played and how they lost. Who? Let's talk about the blame, though. Who do you? What's percentage of blame you give?
Oh, so because it's Devin Booker's team, he got to get 50%. I give 10% to chance, meaning that it just so happened that Chris Paul got hurt. Okay. I give 10% to KD, because regardless, he's expected to put down. I give another 10% to DeAndre Ayton because he getting paid and he didn't want to play because his ribs was hurt. And I give the other 10% to the coach because you got to be able to make adjustments.
Bro, you kind of generous with these assignments here.
No, I'm not. Listen, the superstar gets it whether they win or lose. If they winning, they talking about Devin Booker did his thing.
You said KD is 10%?
Yeah. Because I got to spread the rest of the 50% out over everybody. So my thing is the coach got to get some because of adjustments. KD got to get some because he's the other superstar. Chance got to get it because ain't nobody expect Chris Paul to get hurt or for Ayton to get hurt. I got to put some on Ayton because this is a closeout game and you really tripping over your ribs. Like everybody's banged up at this point. So my thing is if your ribs is hurting that bad, you don't even need to be at the game.
And listen, so this is how I'm gonna side. I didn't think about the chance, so I'm gonna throw in chance in, and let's just say I'm gonna go with the same 10% chance. Just fluke 10%. Didn't consider that, but I'll give you that. I'll match you that 10%. To me, it comes down to 33% goes to Monty Williams, the coach, because you were just in the same position last year, so you should know better. Right? You should know that. Now, the problem is I don't think that as a coach that there's nothing that you can do with the fact that your guys just aren't making shots, right? There's nothing that you can do as a coach to make your guys play defense. They have to actually play the game. You're supposed to prep them for it and everything like that. I think the problem I have with Monty Williams is that it just seemed like they came out and they weren't ready. They wasn't prepped. And so you were in that situation before. So I can't give you the pass this time around. I gave you the pass last time, right? But I can't give you that one. But the other one is I do give Devin Booker another third of the blame. I give him a third of the blame because I agree with you. KD came to join his team, right? So the same way I would give, if Steph would have lost some, I would give a big percentage of that to Steph if they lost when they were with Golden State. But I think that the problem that my issue with Devin Booker is the fact that I don't like how Devin Booker plays in losses, bro. Like when he plays in losses, it's a stark difference of how they play when he wins. And so it makes me think that, bro, you good when you good, but you don't know how to play through bad spurts. And that's the difference. I think that somebody like a Steph still knows how to be effective, even if their team overall is playing bad. But KD, I go ahead and give him another third of the blame because, again, he is supposed to be, hey, it doesn't matter. You put him on the team and you become the overwhelming favorite because it's KD. KD is supposed to mask all of your deficiencies, all your inefficient points. And I think that I give 10% the chance of Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton playing because I can tell that they did miss a Chris Paul being calm, but they haven't had Chris Paul out there for that. You didn't have Chris Paul on your wins, right? On one of your wins. So I can't say that, it would have definitely made that big of a difference when he wasn't. And the same reason why I can't assign DeAndre Ayton more because my expectations for him have been so low. Like I don't understand When has DeAndre Ayton ever um, performed so well that it would make me believe that he is basically about to give you like anything he give you is extra to me. So my expectations for him were so low that I can't give him more than that. That I lump him and Chris Paul into that chance. And now I do agree. The rib thing, I think that if you it's the playoffs. You play through it, you get you the little rib compression joint, and you try to play through it. But I mean, listen, he been playing trash up until then anyway. So I don't think that he would have gave you any more. I don't think that he would have swung it one way or the other. And I don't think Chris Paul would have. Chris Paul would have been more likely to, but I don't think that it would have. And so for that reason, it's only on it's only on Devin Booker, Monty Williams, and KD because those were the ones that were there. So
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
that's
give
the
it to
thing
them.
though. The reason why I gave what I did is because of the fact that I can say all that as far as DeAndre Ayton not playing well or whatever, but he getting paid. And then the other thing is Chris Paul. You know, I don't know what it would have looked like with Chris Paul out there. And so my thing is that because he didn't have his full squad and Denver had their full squad, because if I'm gonna tell you this, if the Suns would have won and Denver would have lost, then I would have been all up on the Nuggets as well.
Okay, that's fine though, right? But you did see what they looked like with Chris Paul out there, and they lost with Chris Paul out there. You did see what they looked like with DeAndre Ayton out there, and they lost both times in Denver. I'm saying this. You came out there and laid a goose egg at your spot 2 years in a row. So if you want to blame Devin Booker more, yes. But the whole point is that KD was brought there so that wouldn't happen, though, bro. So I don't know. But let me ask you this, though. On the flip side, on the East Coast, the 76ers were up 3-1. No, they were up 3-2, right? Against the Celtics. Came out, they're playing in Philly, and Philly loses a very winnable game. So I'm looking at this one in so many different ways. First thing I have to say is that if Philly loses this series, it's Doc Rivers fired.
Listen, Doc Rivers would have been fired if they lost not last game, but the game before that. When they had to go to overtime to win, because they should have never let Boston catch them to even go to overtime. So if they would have lost that game, they would have fired him then. But yeah, definitely if he loses the series, he's out.
I agree. They say that most of the time, right, when a team is up 3-1 or 3-2, whatever the record is, that they have when they're up 3-2, that a team usually has like an 88% chance of winning. Doc Rivers is like 60-something percent though, bro. So he's so low. So I think that he is out of there. They might just do like Lane Kiffin and fire him before he get on the top to get on the plane, bro. They might ask him to find his own way to get back to the crib, bro. But then here's the thing. I laughed at this though, Ace, because this same time last year, right? I posted on Facebook. I said James Harden then disappeared again. Same time. This is same exact time last year. James Harden disappeared, scored 11 points in that game. Here we go. I told you the James Harden story because once he left the Rockets, to me, that's conceding your place on the all-time list, right? You went ahead and go to Nets, and let's just say people say, you know, you sniffed it out before anybody that this Kyrie thing wasn't working, you got out of Dodge. But you went to go to Philly to be the number 2 guy because you couldn't do the pressure of being the guy. He gets to Philly after getting traded to the Nets and promptly, right on schedule, disappears on them boys like David Blaine. A year to the day, another clutch game is needed, and James Harden is nowhere to be found effectively. So, Ace Kennedy, does this confirm the narrative about James Harden?
Not really. I mean, he's had struggles in the playoffs. Everybody knows that. Again, it's Embiid's team. So If they lose, it's on Embiid.
So if they lose, see, the only way I can agree with that, I got to see what James Harden does in the loss.
I understand that, but at the same time, according to Charles Venus logic, that's Embiid's team. So listen, as much as we talk about Anthony Davis being the reason that the Lakers lose, ultimately it's LeBron, right? Because it's his team. So this is Embiid's team, according to you, because James came and joined him. So
yes, I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that.
So my thing is that yes, I still hold James Harden accountable. I'm not saying he has no responsibility.
Okay.
At the same token, the most of the blame is going to Embiid, because if you see James Harden struggling, then you gotta be the one to take the game over.
Listen, I do blame. I would blame Joel Embiid as well, because when I looked at Joel Embiid, he wasn't playing that much better than James Harden. It's just that I've seen James Harden do this before, right? So the surprising thing was that Joel Embiid disappeared after having played great so far. I think that this is the thing I look at, bro. I think that these playoffs have more impact on next season and moves around than any other season I can think of. Because here's the flip side to that. Okay, so let's say that Boston loses, right?
Yeah.
So if Boston loses, people had already been chirping that the idea that you should probably break up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, right? For 2-3 years now. So it's not gonna work. And listen, I'm a bigger Jaylen Brown fan than I am Jason Tatum, just personally.
But Boston ain't gonna get rid of Tatum though.
And Boston's not gonna get rid of Tatum. Well, fast forward, here it is. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown made the All NBA teams, which means that both of them are going to be eligible for the super max extension, where they're both going to be getting around $300 million max contract. There's no way. I don't know. I'm not counting nobody's pockets, but you're going to have over $500 million tied up in two players, right? It seems to me that now, if they don't win the championship, is the time that you go ahead and break those up, because as much as they've been playing together now for 5 years, right? And at some point, you start to wonder if these guys are like Russ and KD, where you like them together, but you just think they're not going to win it together. But if it hasn't happened yet,
I don't know, man. I think I still ain't breaking them up. I still think they just need to add a piece. Like their bench seems to be getting a little bit stronger. And first of all, I don't think they're losing to 76ers. I don't. And really? Then I don't. Matter of fact, this is my prediction. I actually believe that they're coming out of the East. I think they're gonna, because I think the Heat are gonna win, and I think it's gonna be Boston and Miami in the Eastern Conference semifinal. It's the Eastern Conference Finals.
So let me tell you this. This is why I think that when you say adding more pieces, because this is why I just got a feeling that it's just not going to work with them too. Because I don't know how much more you can add, right? So think about this. You went out and you added Malcolm Brogdon, right? Malcolm Brogdon was a good addition. He's the sixth man of the year. Okay, so you also got Marcus Smart, who won the Hustler of the Year. He's a reigning defensive player of the year, right? And he was all NBA, all defensive NBA. You also went and picked up Derek White last year, and fast forward, now Derek White is also all defense, right? You got Robert Williams, who's a little banged up, but he's your rim protector, and everybody says he's solid, right? You got Al Horford out there, and granted, Al Horford is old, but no center has made more threes in the playoffs than Al Horford in the history of the NBA. And Al Horford stretches the defense, right, so that you can operate. I think that this is where I look at this. The Celtics are mind-boggling, because here's what it looks like when I watch the Celtics, right? It looks like to me that Jaylen Brown will be going off first quarter, first half. He's getting it. And it seems like Jason Tatum will see that, and rather than keep feeding him, it seems like he's trying to compete with them to top it. So then the second half comes around, and Jason Tatum is forcing shots, jacking them shot, and it just feels like it's not a natural. It's like I think that they might like each other, bro. I think they might actually like each other personally, but I think for basketball reasons, it just seems like there's this unneeded friction of Jason Tatum feeling like he has to be the number one A when I think that Jaylen Brown has the game to be a number one. Like I try to explain this to somebody that I think the Celtics are better when Jaylen Brown has more attempts in a game when it matters than Jason Tatum. But I think that Jason Tatum has such a green light that it'll never happen. But for that reason, though, man, I'm one that would love to see Jaylen Brown leave the Celtics. I just don't think that they.
I don't have a problem with Jaylen Brown leaving, but I think you can. Like, I think it's time to move on from Al Horford.
I don't see. Oh, Al Horford's good for them, bro.
He is. But I also, if you're talking about making some changes, then these are the things that I think. Like, I think that they could use a stronger center, to play the center position. I'm not talking about stretching the floor as much as he does to shoot the three or whatever like that.
So technically, he plays more small forward because they play two centers. They play Robert Williams and him.
Or I could even see like getting like a Christian Wood over there.
Okay. I can see, but effectively, Christian Woods just replaces Al Horford, but he's going to be expected to do the same thing.
I understand that.
I just think that this is my thing. I just think that in the end, I think that Boston has the perfect setup for the role players, for everything except those two guys. And I just think that something just has to be done between those. To me, it has to be where Jaylen Brown steps up and basically really becomes the 1A. And I just think that Jason Tatum's mentality just feels like I'm the number one. If the game's on the line, I'm gonna take the shot. And it just hasn't worked that way though, bro. And that's the reason why I just say that, I don't think that they need anything else. I think that they just need I think they need Jason Tatum, to be honest with you, to fall back when the game's on the line and have Jaylen Brown be the one that take those clutch shots. But it'll never happen though.
That's the thing, right? Because it's not his show, it's Tatum's show.
Right. But if I'm Jaylen Brown, I'm like, get me out of here, bro. I need my own. He's not Scottie Pippen, bro. He's not.
I'm not saying he is, but if he wants to be the number one, he gotta go.
I think that's what listen, I feel like he is a true number one guy. You know what it almost reminds me of? It almost reminds me of when Tracy McGrady was coming to be Tracy McGrady when he was with Orlando and Vince Carter. And he was like, hey, the only way for me to be T-Mac is for me to not play with Vince Carter or break this whole thing up. And then that was it, though, man. But I think that if you see Jaylen Brown leave Boston, he'll be like an MVP candidate, bro.
Where would you want to see him go?
Listen, this is gonna sound biased. Very biased. I would love to see Jaylen Brown. You ready for this? Jaylen Brown to OKC, bro.
Who are you? Who? Okay, now you got to give me your lineup.
Okay, so you go Jaylen Brown. You got Jaylen Brown, Shea, my boy Blue Door. You got to trade J-Dub. And it don't matter who we got at center. But you trade you gotta get rid of J-Dub. You can get rid of J Will also. You can get rid of both of the Jaylens. You give up because then you're gonna have three Jaylens, so you don't need that. So give up the two Jaylens, and you give up one of those draft picks. And I think that you have a roster in the West that is as competitive, if not better, than anybody else. Shea and because listen, they play two different styles, and I think that with the athleticism between both of those two, I think that that puts Oklahoma over the top.
Oklahoma's gonna be over the top when Chet is there next year, bro.
I see. I don't know, bro. I don't know, but what I do know, because we don't know what Chet's gonna be, right? But we know what Jalen is. And
No,
listen,
we've seen
I
what
don't
Chet
even
can
give
do.
up.
We've
I,
seen
so
what
you,
Chet can do.
but you put Chet. So let's say you keep Chet. You put Chet as center, right? So you put. But I think that they would ask for. They may even ask for Chet. So they may say, "Give us Chet and Jalen and Jay Will and a draft
OKC
pick."
wouldn't do it. But anyway, that's nice thinking though. But yeah,
I think
that ain't gonna
that
happen.
would be good. Now, here's the other one that I think. I think that the only other way that I would see it is I think a good move would be going to the Hawks. But here's the kicker. Jaylen Brown to the Hawks in exchange for Trae Young. They'll go Trae Young and John Collins for Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, and Grant Williams. They already said that it's not off the table that they would entertain trading Trae Young.
No,
And
I
Trae Young's
understand
already
that.
been beefing with the coaches anyway, so I can see them entertaining that, and I think they would push the button on that.
I mean, Miami's getting rid of Thickums. So
Listen, Jaylen Brown and Jimmy Butler would win against anybody in the East, bro.
listen,
I would pick them to beat anybody in the East.
what if it was some sort of thing where they ended up with Jaylen Brown and Russ?
Listen, Jaylen Brown, Russ. Listen, okay, so let's just talk about Jaylen Brown. I would trade Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero and a draft pick to get Jaylen Brown if I was Miami. Yeah, I would. I think that puts you, that to me, and you add Russ and or John Wall, and to me, that gives you more shot making than what I think you, because right now you're completely reliant when it counts on just Jimmy Butler. And I think that gives you more people to rely on scoring for, though, bro. So, yeah. And I don't think that Jimmy Butler becomes playoff Jimmy out of necessity, right? But he'll have those games where he'll just not look like Jimmy and then fool around and give you a dud. And in that game, I think that Jaylen Brown steps up, bro.
Man, a lot of moving pieces. So let's make our predictions, bro. Who you got out of the Knicks and Miami?
Miami, I hate the Knicks, bro.
Okay. Who you got out of Boston and 76ers?
You know what? I'm gonna go with the 76ers only because I do want to see some mess get stirred up. So I'm gonna go 76ers. I think that eventually the 76ers will lose, but I'm gonna go 76ers in this series.
And who you got, Warriors or Lakers?
Oh, I got Lakers.
I got everybody you got except for I got Boston beating 76ers.
And I'm gonna tell you this though. If the Warriors win tonight, I think the Warriors will beat them in game 7.
No, this is it.
No.
Okay,
this is
you're right.
Think about the poetic justice of that, right? That LeBron came back to beat the Warriors 3-1. And of all teams, if LeBron lost to Steph and the Warriors from having a 3-1 lead, that would be so poetic. But I think that, I think that, listen, if the Warriors mess around and win this game, I think they're going to win the whole thing.
I can see that. But speaking of games and the Warriors, what's up with this Cameron and Mace talking about Jordan Poole?
So there was a rumor that Jordan Poole had basically paid like $500,000 to go on a date with Ice Spice, right? And I was like, really? But it's weird because he always, you know what I'm saying, get put out there for stuff. Like there's been a couple times where some weirdo stuff was put out there on him about like that. So I think that the thing that's interesting to me, bro, is that Cameron was like, yo, bro, I done been defending you against wild people who were saying, yo, Jordan Poole is a straight cornball. And he was like, bro, but now I found out you out here spending $500,000, $500,000 to go out on a date. And so Mace said, bro, and let me find out. He said, is she from Brooklyn, bro? Mace was like, you could have took her out for pizza out there. And they was like, yo, if you know where this chick is from, then you would know that $500,000 for a date is just like, you gotta be, like I said, you gotta be a munch, right? And so Jordan Poole is looking bad out here because he's already playing like trash in the playoffs in comparison to how he's been before. And it's just weird. It's just another bad look from him, though, bro. But it's weird. And by the way, if you ever had a chance to, you should look at Mace and Cam's sports show. It's hilarious, bro.
I can't watch them because I don't like neither one of them.
That I've seen on the internet. Besides us, when we talk about it.
Yeah, I don't even rock with them like that to begin with.
I think you would like that. They say pause probably about 100 times throughout the episodes, though, bro. But it's good. It's a good watch. It's different.
And Jadena versus two boyfriends.
Did you see this, bro?
I saw it.
I've heard him say
so different, bro.
Yeah, he does look very different. He looks like he just got done dating Erykah Badu. You know, like when you date her, everybody looks different after that.
Yeah.
Listen, bro. So I heard him allude to something like this last year, if I'm not mistaken. And so he had the interview with Ebro, and he was basically saying, yeah, you know, his girl, he was dating this girl who already had two boyfriends. And I suppose he was cool with being boyfriend number 3 because he was already dating multiple people as well. But I think that the part that just seemed a little weird to me was that it wasn't like she just had two dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like they were cool, that they both acknowledged that we're her boyfriend. So they're basically doing this polygamy thing going on. And I guess apparently he jumps into the mix and they eventually fall off pretty much though. But this is the thing out there. This is my question for you. And maybe you and I haven't been on the scene in quite some time. But my question for you is this though, bro. A girl tells you, okay, I have a boyfriend. If you're just looking to smash, right? Does her having a boyfriend, is that a deterrent? Like, is that all right, that's a you thing, right? That you got a boyfriend. But if you want to mess with me, I'm okay with you having a boyfriend if we want to just do our thing. Like, how does that work if you at 42 years old approach a girl and she tells you that she has a boyfriend? Is it, you know, back in the day, it was like, oh, I'm good. I'm walking away from this, right?
Nah, I think that, you know, if she just has a boyfriend, then that's, you know, she's dating as far as I'm concerned. So that is what it is. Because if you serious about it, then you won't let it happen.
So does it make it any different, the fact that she's not married? Like, to me, it's different. If you got a boyfriend and if I try to holler,
a boyfriend
try to approach me, yeah.
That's
you're not married to him, right?
Right.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, if you're not married, and if you're entertaining my conversation one way or the other, then I guess I would, especially if depending on what I'm trying to do, right? If you tell me that you got a boyfriend, then I figure that I would have to. There's a certain kind of relationship that I would have with you, that I know what my boundaries are. But if you tell me that you have a boyfriend and you're entertaining my game, right? Whatever I'm saying, then at some point, then it's like, all right, yeah, that's your problem. And I don't want to, but here's the thing. But the way that I took his situation is that she had two boyfriends. And he actually met these guys. They were basically in cahoots. And I think that that's the part that for me, where I look at that and say, that couldn't be for me because I don't want to be saying we're one big family. Nah, it's cool. If I'm
I
smashing
think
or
that
something,
yeah, but at the same time, he was also doing that type of lifestyle too. So it's to him, it's just the same as what we do, what we would have done in that situation of being with just if you're dating, you're dating.
that's it dating. But here's my thing about it. It sounded like he was another boyfriend, right?
It
Like
doesn't
it
matter.
wasn't just
It doesn't matter. The thing is that he was living that type of lifestyle too. Like he had multiple people he was seeing. So it was what it was is that once he fell in love with her, he said, "Oh, I'm willing to drop all the rest of what I got going on because I just want you." And then she did the same. So what I'm saying is if you took that away, he would have been dating her along with the two other dudes, and then he would also have some other ones as well. But he let all of that go for her. So that's what I'm saying. He was living that lifestyle. So to me, that's pretty regular as us saying, okay, if a chick was only dating, then she's just dating.
I
Again,
could see
she's
that.
not married.
I couldn't be. Here's my thing. If me and you just go out and kick it, we dating, we doing whatever we doing. That's cool. I couldn't be another boyfriend. I don't gotta meet them to know about them. Even if they knew about me, we ain't hanging
Right.
out
But
at the
again,
barbecue.
that's not your lifestyle though. So I can understand why that wouldn't be the case. So that's what I'm saying. It makes sense because he was already, it wasn't like he was a person who was only into just dating one girl at a time or whatever.
Yeah.
He was also in a polygamous, a polyam, however you say it, a poly relationship. So the thing is that the fact that it became a monogamous one, that wasn't a weird thing for him because he was already doing that anyway with, just being in a poly.
Listen, man, there's a different for listen, definitely one of those signs that I ain't been out there like that, bro.
Yeah, but not everybody is doing that either, though. Okay, so you got Omarion that's talking about he kind of does a similar thing because he's done with doing traditional relationships. You saw that what's our boy, the comedian? I can't think of my boy name.
Michael Blackson.
Nope.
D. Ray Davis.
Yeah, D. Ray Davis. So you're just now seeing more of these type of relationships develop. So
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I could see myself. I can do the D. Ray Davis. I couldn't do the opposite. Just my thing. I couldn't do the opposite.
switching gears a little bit, bro. So Adidas said they are going to sell off the remaining inventory of Yeezy, and they're going to give the proceeds to charity. Obviously, whatever Kanye's cut is, he gets that, but they're going to sell off the rest of the inventory and basically give the proceeds to charity. What you think about it?
Listen, I mean, if you Kanye, then you like, hey, whatever you get, as long as my money is not impacted by it, then I guess at the end of the day, that's what it is. I do think that it is hilariously petty that he opened up a Yeezy operation across the street from the Adidas headquarters. I think that in itself, a Yeezy office right in front of the Adidas building is hilarious, though, bro. But no, I think that it's just this is my thing, though, man. I think that if that's what Adidas wants to do as an international company, I get it. Here's the thing I don't ever see, right? What I don't ever see, and maybe this has happened, right? But again, I don't see when somebody feels like black culture, black people are offended and have been wronged, and that those kind of things happen. Like would Adidas done the opposite, right? Would they have done if somebody had disrespected, if Kanye, for example, disrespected black culture, black people, said something that was racial, even to white people, right? Would Adidas sold that off and say, all right, we're going to go ahead and give some scholarships out or pay all the debt for all the students at Morehouse and Spelman? Or we're going to donate all this money to HBCUs? Like, I think my thing is that if you do this, right, to me, is this your new precedent? Like, if something happens, I'm going to need you to keep that consistently, though. Am I tripping on that?
No, you're not tripping, but at the same time, the reason why that's not going to happen is because they don't have any black investors like that. So you're affecting their money. So they're a business and they're running it like a business. So I can't be mad at the way that they conduct their business. So you insulted investors. So that's where they have to cut ties and why they can't sell that stuff for a profit. Because the thing is that even if they said, look, we're taking the name Yeezy off, we own the brand, and we're just going to call this the Adidas Boost 720 or whatever the case may be, right? Then they started getting some backlash, obviously, from that, which is why they're like, look, we just going to sell off the rest of the inventory. We're going to give the money to charity. So they're not making a profit off of somebody who has, said anti-Semitic rhetoric. So this is what they're going to have to do.
I just want to know what charities they're giving it to.
I mean, true. And I'm pretty sure it's going to have something to do with some Jewish communities, I'm sure. But I'm just, that's me speculating. I have no clue.
I don't know if I like that, bro.
I mean, you can't just throw away the inventory, bro. Again,
you can't.
They are treating it like a business. They are treating
why? You know what I would love to see Kanye do? I would love to see. I don't know how much inventory we're talking about, but I would love to see Kanye say, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna buy the inventory, and I'm just gonna sell it just under the Yeezy brand, bro."
He ain't got the money like that, though.
Right? He don't. But I would love to see Yeezy say, "Hey, if y'all gonna take a loss anyway on this, then sell it to me like liquidated, right? Sell it to me at a liquidated price, and then I'll sell it under my brand, then, right? Since it was my design." That's what I would want to see Ye do.
I would want to see that too, but at the end of the day, they're trying to be completely done with him. So the thing is they're not giving every dime to charity. They're gonna again, they're a business. They're
right.
gonna, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna tell you what percentage is going to the charities either. It's a business, so they're gonna get money out of it. It's just that at the end of the day, they want to be completely done with him.
They're gonna have me look at their shareholders report and see where the money going.
Hey, speaking of petty, though, you mentioned Kanye being petty. Well, this girl, Cardi B, is still taking more assets from Tasha K, bro.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I love it. I feel bad for Tasha K, but I love it.
Why do you feel bad for her?
If you what's up?
Why do you feel bad for her?
I feel bad that it seems like she don't have it. She seems like, let's put this. It seems like Tasha K is just a regular old person who's, came to prominence by just social media, right? So she's a social media personality that built her platform. And it seems like I'm going to assume that she doesn't have the longest money, right? She might just got regular people money. And I look at her differently from somebody who's like a millionaire, billionaire, whatever, right?
But Charles, here's the thing. Two things. Number one, she had a cease and desist before she went to court. She decided to stand 10 toes down on it.
And that's what I love about what Cardi is doing, because at the same time, while I do feel bad for her, I do feel Cardi B, if Cardi B feels like, I'm not going to let you defame my name, I'm not going to let you defame my reputation, so I'm going to go ahead and sue you then, like for any mischaracterization, whatever it is. If you feel that strongly that somebody's lying about you, go ahead and sue them and go to the nines. Like, it's almost like that's why I don't feel too bad with 50 Cents keep going out to Tiana Taylor either, bro. It's like, if you go that way with me, then I'm going to respond back and go all that. So,
and that's what I was going to say. Cardi taking a page out of 50's book. And, now I did hear, again, this is just what I heard. I heard Tasha K moved out of the country. that she still ain't paid. She still ain't paid that money.
Hey man, listen, I don't know how to when you go after the assets, if you got United States assets, you can gotta get that. I'm assuming you can get that rolled into your deal and say, hey, she ain't sending me my money, but she got these properties. Let me take that then. Listen, if you Cardi, do whatever though, bro. If I had the money and somebody was going after me like that at you know for clickbait or whatever, nah, man, you gotta go ahead and clear that. And then I might just be asking them to pay my lawyer fees also.
Yeah. Speaking of lawyers and going to court, Jonathan Majors finally did go. He attended court on May the 8th, and his lawyer basically said it's a witch hunt, and that there's definitely colorism involved, and he wants the charges dismissed. And they kind of took away some of the stuff that was initially reported as far as the condition of the girl, but it's just interesting to me that they're trying to press forward when the girl supposedly recanted her statement. Like, all the evidence that Jonathan Major's team brought forth, it doesn't feel like that was at any use. But I didn't hear anything about the extra, how they were saying that other women had come out. I don't know. I didn't see anything saying that any of that was brought up within the court.
Yeah, I never understood how a court can do that. When someone says, I recant my statement, or I'm not gonna move forward, but they say, oh, never mind, we gonna go ahead and move forward. And maybe they have grounds to do that, but I've never understood what if the person is recanting their statement and said, I lied or I said that, and they're willing to be penalized in whatever way. How can you still pursue that? I don't know.
I don't know that either, because now you're not even getting the cooperation of the witness. So
right.
I am interested in seeing what's going on. And obviously he's lost some deals. He's lost his PR team. He's lost his management team. Marvel hasn't dropped them yet. Of course, they're having conversations behind the scenes to see what they're gonna do with that. But at the end of the day, it's just early in the process, and people are trying to save face by going ahead and disassociating themselves with him. But he ain't guilty yet. So
I would love to see him bounce back and how he bounces back.
Yeah, I just the thing is that obviously the court of public opinion is going to be soured, just because here's the thing: if you like Jonathan Majors, you want to believe that he's innocent. But if you
I say this all the time. If Robert Downey Jr. can bounce back, anybody can. But you got to bounce back right, and he bounced back in public as Iron Man. Right, but if Robert Downey Jr. can bounce back, anybody can, bro.
Yeah. Staying on the court thing. The boy Tory Lanez begged the judge to have a redo. I forgot what you call it. An appeal, and the judge denied his request for an appeal. So he still hasn't been sentenced yet. He's looking at up to 22 years or deportation back to Canada.
See, I think that the part that I think that he was basically the surprising thing to me, right, is that he wanted to have his appeal and retrial based off of the fact that to him he was never given a fair trial, right? A fair trial. And the judge basically went back through line for line, the appeal judge, and said, nope, this is good. And listen, I don't know. I think that that's a slippery slope from a judicial perspective, because once you go down that path of re-reviewing another judge's case and you say, you know what, he is right, then that to me makes the whole judicial system questionable, right? So it's almost like, I don't know how you win that though, bro. I mean, yeah, you can get an appeal to have amendments and everything, but I just don't really know how, if you're a judge and you go behind another peer judge, right? And you say, well, you know what, he do got a point. Y'all didn't give
I don't have a problem with that. The only reason why is because if I am able to present new evidence that shows that I wasn't given a fair trial, then I want that opportunity. Because my thing is that you can, I mean, we don't know what type of bias people have when they come into a court or whatever the case may be. And my thing is that if you're fighting for your life and you get the opportunity because there's some new evidence or something that there's proof that there was some sort of mishap within the trial, then yeah, I don't have a problem with them re-reviewing that, especially because if they come to the same conclusion, then
I get it. I get it. I just think that, like I said, I just think that just makes you, as the judge who agreed to the retrial, I guess that would make you feel a certain kind of way amongst the circle of your peers, to me.
I mean, I just think it's a conversation with the other judge. Like, yeah, I'm gonna review the case just because there was significant evidence that showed that it could be something. But again, it's gonna be on them to prove that. You know what I'm saying? But if we come to the same conclusion, then I don't know. I don't necessarily look at it. I know what you're getting at, but I don't look at it as negatively as it sounds, just from the fact of, oh, you didn't trust that I knew what I was doing. You just gonna open my case back up. Like, if there's significant evidence enough to be presented that no, we do need to reopen the case, I'm okay with it, because you can very well come to the same conclusion even with the new evidence. So then what you gonna do then? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The last thing, bro. So it was reported that Jamie Foxx, that the family of Jamie Foxx is preparing for the worst. There are reports coming out that the rest of his projects for the year canceled, that he wasn't doing well, and so that's what had been reported, which is interesting because the family has been pretty tight-lipped. Well, somebody finally came out and said something to clear the air. This is from his daughter. Yeah, his daughter basically said, update from the family. Sad to see how the media runs wild. My dad has been out of the hospital for weeks, recuperating. In fact, he's playing pickleball yesterday. Thanks for everyone's support and prayers. We have an exciting work to announce very soon. So that just goes to show, man, you can't believe everything you see on the internet, bro. People
I'm not gonna lie though, bro. I know that his daughter, nor Jamie Foxx, owes anybody an explanation, but I do feel relieved that he put it out there for as somebody who's a fan of his, though, man, and for somebody who's hoping for the best for him. I do feel relieved that you know what I'm saying, that he was able to come out and speak on that, though, bro. And not to say, because I do think that at that point, without someone coming forward, then all you have to do is speculate. So I'm not. I do think that it is real shady that media could run their own narrative, but I do at least like that they can get out there and set the record straight, though.
True, but this is a lot of media, though, right? Where, especially when you hear of organizations that don't comment on rumors that are floating around,
right?
And so you as a listener, well, they ain't giving me no information. This is what's out there, and a bunch of people reporting it, so it's got to be true. This happens so much, and so like you said, she or Jamie didn't owe us any explanation. Just being at the house, recovering, recuperating, doing all of that, don't owe anybody. And I wouldn't have been mad if they didn't say nothing, and whatever. But I am grateful to get some update. But people forget these celebrities are people. And so I just think it's it is relieving to know that he is on the up and getting better, but and out of the hospital for all of that.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I am. I'm happy. I'm happy to hear from him, though, bro.
Yeah. So what's up for the weekend, bro?
Man, for the weekend, listen, for the weekend, bro. Two things. First off, shout out to my bro, Courtney, and the good folks over at Cinematic Visuals. It's his birthday today, though, man. So I was happy for him, though, man. Yeah, he's one of the people that I celebrate. He actually, we're having like a little cookout for him tomorrow. So that's dope. And then outside of that, though, man, I got more showings here on the crib. for tomorrow. So I will be probably roaming around. But I'm looking forward to Mother's Day though, man. This Sunday though, man. I got a couple little things planned out for the missus and the in-laws. So yeah, that's what I'm doing this weekend, kicking it with the fam real hard.
That's what's up.
What else? What you got?
There's a couple of retirement parties that going on, and other than that, man, just finished recording another song in the studio, so I'm gonna be listening to that all weekend, seeing if there's any changes I want to make or whatever the case may be. I sent that over to you, so I know the studio is down right now, but yeah, just trying to keep it moving. Just every chance I can is just trying to get back in that lab, bro.
Okay, good deal, man. Listen, I think I'm gonna be down on the studio for probably, maybe a month, a couple weeks. So I'm looking to write more. I'm trying to take advantage of that. Now it's forced my musician ADD to just focus on one thing. And I got some tracks and everything like that already that I was working on. So I'm hoping to generate more ideas and focus on the writing over the next little while though, man. So yeah, man. Still moving, still trying to make it happen though.
That's what's up. Well, let's get it on out of here, brother.
Hey, let's kick that music, man. Appreciate y'all for checking in.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you smell what the rock